Right, here we go then. Yes, as the world keeps spinning and whatever happens in the world, we've still got our music. And on this show, we like to promote independent artists and original musicians. We have now a male solo independent artist. His name is Will Brown. So, Will Brown, welcome to my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How are you today? And where are you zooming in from, calling in from?
I am doing pretty good. Right now, I am currently back home in Kansas as next Thursday is Thanksgiving. So I'm back
Nice.
with the family.
Well, happy holidays
Thank
for
you.
Thanksgiving. And it's coming to that time of year, we all know. Would you just like to tell me and my listeners just a little bit about about what you do and yourself as well?
Uh, um, so I am a singer-songwriter. I left the US to move to London is to pursue music full time, and that's currently what I'm doing right now. And I have a new single out called Better Man.
Great. We'll talk about Better Man. And when you were transitioning from United States to Great Britain, would you say that was a big plunge to take?
It was very big, especially not being able is to move all of my furniture to the UK. I had to kind of just bring my clothes, which was fine, but it's a perfect move. And actually, me moving from Kansas City, because I moved from Kansas City to Los Angeles and then Los Angeles now to the UK. Moving to Los Angeles for me was a like the first stage, preparing myself to for this bigger move. And so, yeah, I'm glad that I made the move, and so far it's worked out quite well.
I'm pleased to hear that. And also, was being a musician or a singer, or just in the musical field, was that always in your veins?
Yes, always. Ever since I was younger. So my dad is a pastor, and on my dad's side and my mom's side, it's a family full of singers. And growing up, excuse me, my dad created, I would say it's almost kind of like the Jackson Five. I have five brothers and sisters. It's five of us. And so he created a band. And before he would get up to speak, we would always sing. And we would sing around town. We would sing at church. And I was the only one that really took it serious and kept doing it. And eventually became a professional background gospel singer for over 8 years. And then I stopped. And yeah, and now I'm doing pop soul.
Brilliant. One of my questions I was going to ask you was, of course, the church I've read has always been a pivotal part of your life. And
Mhm.
has this guided you through like the precarity of the musical business? It can be a bit unpredictable at times.
Yeah. Um, Yes, I would say so because I always tell my family and friends that the church teaches you how to deal with the real world. And one thing the church teaches you about is love. And I always try and approach situations, or I would rather react out of love rather than fear, because when you react out of fear, it's usually a negative thing. But I would say the church actually has had a really big impact on my music and being a part of the industry, being in the industry.
And my next question, I'm going to ask you, how would you describe your sounds, and the lyrics that you're trying to put together, right?
How would I describe my sound?
Yeah, like your music. Would you say it's soulful in places?
Oh yeah. So yes, definitely soulful. It's pop lyrics with a gospel soulful undertone to it.
That's a great description. Well
Yeah.
answered. And of course, on the intro of this interview, you mentioned you have a new single out. It's called Better Man.
Yes.
I had a couple of listens to it myself. I believe I played it quite a few times on my show as well.
Well, thank
I
you.
describe it as an upbeat, radio-friendly pop song,
Yes. Yes.
and is doing well for itself. Combined in total, 2 million hits and counting.
Yes. Yes, it's doing very well. And Better Man, actually, it was my take on a folk song. Um, so I wanted to kind of do a folk song, but infuse a little pop and a little gospel to it. And I think I did pretty good with it.
And I think that really works well when you blend in different ingredients of genres.
Yes, 100%. Because it still also has that substance to it, and then it also brings out those certain emotions that you want people is to feel when they listen to the record.
And the cover art to Better Man is very interesting. It shows you walking along like a highway, a long
Yeah.
road ahead, in like an aesthetic sunset in the middle of nowhere. Was this an actual shot on location?
No, it wasn't. It was like yeah, no, it wasn't an actual shot, and it wasn't me. It was just kind of like it was drawn. Um, but it was to convey just leaving the past behind, becoming the new me.
Yeah. It does
Yeah.
look very realistic though when you look at it.
Thank you.
I did think it was shot on location, like somewhere like, out there.
Yeah, no, actually, nope. It was created. It was all created. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Cool. On the Better Man as well. Who did you work with on this record?
So I worked with my producer and writer Zach Lloyd. He's based out of Wales. Uh,
Oh,
so yeah, we created the song together, and the song came about from it's two parts to it. It came about from the title came from a conversation with a friend. She was talking, we were talking, and she was telling me about a guy she was dating at the time, and about how he was having a hard time overcoming some of his past issues. And so I was telling her from the conversation that she was telling me about the guy. I said, it sounds like he's a really good guy. He just needs someone is to help him become a better man. And that title, Better Man, kept coming out. And and I was like, maybe you could be the one that help him and lift him, this and other. And in that conversation, I told her, I was like, that sounds like a song. And so I hung up from her and I went on my hike and I started writing out an idea of a song called Better Man and went to Wales. And that's how Zach and I created the song called Better Man.
well, it was the final product has paid off.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you always hear about uh people trying to be the best versions of themselves. Could it relate to that as well?
100%.
Mm.
100%. Because also, too, the second part of it was how the song came about. It was me after coming out of a relationship going back thinking on, okay, what was it that I did wrong? What is it that I can fix to move forward so I don't keep repeating those same mistakes? And it's me becoming a better man and also saying, it's unfortunate that this person won't see the better person that I have become since leaving that relationship. So yeah, it's definitely about self-improvement,
Yeah.
recognizing those insecurities. And then also usually we do the work on ourselves, but then it comes a point of time to where you've reached the limit and you need someone else's to help you uh, get to that next
Yeah.
level or
Yeah.
push you to that next portion of your journey.
Yeah.
And that's helping you become a better man.
Yeah, because like in music, you always hear songs about breakup and um, couples or people in that relationship being kind of like bitter to one another. But but it shouldn't be about that. Like people can, be forgiving and be
Yes.
friends, and then you're at
Yes.
peace with yourself. Then,
Yeah, 100%. And that's one thing that I've told my producer and writing partner, Zach, whenever I create songs, like it's going to be about life and it's going to be about tough situations. But I also, at the end of it, I want to resolve. I want something that's good, something that you've learned about it and that you've come away. It's a good thing at the end of what you've learned. How you react out of love rather than fear. And because sometimes when you have breakup songs, it's the ending is like either tragic or it's mean or something ends badly. But I want mine is to always have that dignity through adversity
yeah,
type situation.
very good. So you talked a little bit about Better Man. Hopefully, the listener can have a better understanding about what the song's about, the meaning.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about your previous single as well. It's called The Phoenix Rise as well. That's done well for itself. And
Yes.
could this song be about, rising and rising from the ashes, becoming more stronger, bolder, and powerfuler?
Yeah. So Phoenix Rise, it's kind of like a segue into Better Man, but Phoenix Rise came from it was birthed and written right after a breakup. And I was just saying, sometimes we get lost whenever we get into a relationship, we kind of lose a little bit of ourselves, is because we want to connect with that person that we're with and kind of either be in the shadows of them or sometimes be side by side. But it's always no matter if the breakup ended badly or if it ended on a good note, it's hurtful. It's you have like moments of grief, and then sometimes some people feel like, what's going to happen now? Who am I? What have I become? So forth and so on. But there's always light at the end, and so it's telling you, watch me rise like a phoenix out of the ashes. Rather, like I said, rather it ended badly or worse, but no matter what, there's still going to always be a little bit of grief there because it's change, and some people we don't like a lot of change.
Sure, sure thing. And Phoenix Rise and Better Man, they're available to listen on, all good streaming platforms.
Yes. Yes, they are on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you stream your music.
Lovely. And I know you like to do the odd cover here and there. You've done a faithful cover version of Amy Winehouse's song Back to Black. How was that feeling to put your own style on that track?
That's one of the songs that I've always loved. And that was the first song that I heard of Amy Winehouse. And yeah, one day someone had mentioned, hey, you should do Back to Black. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just went for it. But I always knew the song. So it was just really easy and just to kind of put my spin on it.
Great. As I said before, that's on your streaming platforms as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
Back to Black. And also I did a cover called Run by Tiggs the author.
And because Run is quite a beautiful ballad, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, the way that I interpret it, yes, it's a beautiful ballad. But the original, it's up tempo. It's an up tempo record, and it's from a UK artist named Tiggs the author.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the way I did it is totally different from Tiggs the author.
and Walk Higher as well. Is that another one of your records?
Yes, that was one of my first singles. And I worked with two producers in LA, two gentlemen by the name of Phil Thorpe and John Sinclair.
And would you say it has like a more fun vibe to it, clubbier, for the party vibe?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Walk Hard was it was really fun. And it was also inspired by Michelle Obama when she said, when they go low, we go high.
Very good. And what's the feeling like when you hear your song being played back on the radio? I know you've been played on Radio 2's Good Morning show.
Yes. Uh, I'm still like on cloud nine about it. It's so exciting and it's like a dream come true. And sometimes I still have to pinch myself because I'm like, is this really happening? But it feels so good, especially to hear when the introduction comes on the song. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me.
Mm. And
But
are you pleased to hear more people tuning in on the radio, while they're out and about, driving or with their pods in their ears?
yes, yeah, it's very exciting. And then sometimes when I go to the gym, I've heard it on their playlist, the gym's playlist. And that I feel like that's kind of weird to me because I'm like, is that me? What's going on?
I've done like interviews with previous artists before, and they've heard their like music being played in the like a fast food restaurant,
Yeah,
and I always find it quite interesting how their reaction is to that scenario.
yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Mm. And I understand you've done a couple of dates, like gigging, as we call it here in the UK. Do you have any shows you like to share with us, like in the new year or leading up to Christmas?
Absolutely. So my next show is February 25th next year at the Troubadour.
And that's
And
London, is it?
yes, at the
Great.
Troubadour. And I'm really excited because it's going to be a different show than my Journey to Brownsville show. Because my Journey to Brownsville show was more about like telling you the story of my journey to Brownsville,
Hmm.
and it was more of a kind of like a little bit of a intimate setting. This show is an hour set, and I'm gonna have do more new music, more upbeat music, full band, singers, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
Great. That's Central London, the Troubadour.
Yes,
Yeah, I have heard of it. And
yeah.
just going back to Brownsville, is Brownsville in the very southern state of US, bordering Mexico?
No. So Brownsville isn't an actual physical location. It's a mental sanctuary that I
Oh,
create. Yeah. So Brownsville is this mental sanctuary that I created that I would escape to when I was working in corporate America. I would sit at my desk and daydream. And this place I escaped to, I was able is to be free, like be myself, no judgment, no fear. And that's where I began writing the songs of pretty much my life and my journey.
Mm.
And
So,
so
yeah.
Brown, yeah,
So one would say Brownsville may be your place of solace.
yes, yes.
Ah.
And so whenever people listen to my music, and that's why my music is really inspirational and have a lot of these themes in it, is because when people listen to the music, I want them is to uh, escape to this space called Brownsville, where you're seen, where you're heard, where you're included, where you're secure, and where you feel liberated. Because that's what I felt when I first went to this space, this mental sanctuary. And it just helped me deal with life's challenges. And whenever I felt like life was just getting too heavy, I could escape here and just feel free and write songs of overcoming and to really kind of think about what it was that I was going through and almost kind of like meditate. And then once I came back to reality, I knew how to navigate life or the songs that I would write when I would take this adventure. Next thing you know, they would eventually help me down the line is to get through something that I was going through.
It's
So yeah,
amazing, isn't it? Music's so powerful, whether you perform music or listen to it. As I says on the intro to the interview, whatever happens in the world, you've got music, and it just
yeah.
distracts you. You can just escape, to wherever you want to go into your zone.
Yes. So yeah, so that's Brownsville, and it's just this loving community where everybody is seen, heard, lifted up, inspired, help each other out. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's what
Brownsville.
life's about, isn't it? Wonderful that is.
Yeah, yep,
And just looking ahead, like 2025, do you foresee that being a great year for you?
I do. I really do. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen because I keep getting surprised. But
Because
I am looking forward to especially like more dates, live dates, and see what new collaborations come about in 2025.
Amazing. So yeah, just take it on a year basis. Some people look ahead 5, 10 years, but it's good to be in the moment as
Yes,
well.
try to sit in the moment, and because s- most times you can kind of forget those moments, and then 6 years later, it's like, oh, I didn't really bask in there. I don't remember how it
Yeah.
felt. But you want to be able to feel and understand and appreciate the
Yeah.
moment when it happens.
Sometimes it's nice just to take a step back and just like reflect everything and just think to yourself, yeah, I'm in a good place here.
Yeah, because that adds fuel to you, so you can
Mm,
keep moving forward.
great. And
Yeah.
do you have an official website or I know social media is more popular now than websites. Do you have a preference where people can follow you or online?
Right now, you can follow me on my Instagram at Will Brown's World. Um, Will Brown's World on my Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Will Brown on Spotify. I have the red flower on my face. And then my website should be coming out in maybe next month.
Amazing.
Finishing touches
Yeah.
on it. And it'll also be willbrownsworld.com.
Great. Well, Will Brown, thanks very much for joining me on today's show. And all for me to do is play one of your new releases. We'll go with Better Man, The Better Man. Would you just like to introduce it on the show, the Dennison Radio Show?
Yes. Hi, I'm Will Brown, and you are listening to my new single, Better Man, on the Danny Sun Show.
It's really nice chatting with you today, Will.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.